What you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy the Cat Sam, and we are back again today. I know it has been a while, and I apologise, guys, but we are back again today. You know how it is. We're in the field, so you know what that means. Only one thing. We are back today for football rambling, episode 8. I'm gonna guess. I know that's bad. I should know, but it has been a while. I have been busy, and I still have made content. It's not like I've completely gone away. But we are back again today, and we're gonna be talking everything. We're going to be talking all European football. We're going to talk about the Scudetto win for Inter Milan, talk about Ligue, who's going to win the title. We're going to talk about the French League. We're going to talk about the relegations in the Premier League down to Championship, and then the promotions up from the Championship. Lots to talk about, lots to get through. It's not a brilliant day, if I'm being honest. It's cloudy, it's still very bright, and it's dry because it's been some horrible weather recently. I had planned twice in the last week to try and get out and do the rambling, but the rain has been just absolutely relentless. And obviously I'll also answer your questions, I forgot to mention that, but we'll go straight in to Ligue 1. You know I'm a big advocate to watch the Ligue 1, and it has been absolutely insane this season, and I absolutely love it. We've seen PSG were neck and neck with Lille, and Lille going in this weekend, they were playing against Lens, their big derby game. And I'm kind of eating my words. I said the problem is with Lille is whenever they have their moment, whenever the pressure's on them, they mess up. Well, the pressure was on them this weekend, and they won, and they dominated Lens. Yes, Lens did get, I say Lens, it's probably a French pronunciation, but we're going to say Lens. They beat them 3-0, and Lens did get a red card, but that doesn't matter. So Lille got that win. That then meant PSG needed to keep just staying, clipping at their heels, but PSG, they drew this weekend, 1-1 against Rennes, and Kimpembe got a red card, but that was after the goal had gone in. They went 1-0 down, so in my opinion, they were very lucky to get a draw. They looked like a side that you could tell had just come out of the Champions League. They all looked a bit moody, that's not the word, lethargic. Their heads were down. They're playing with no confidence, which is quite odd for a PSG side, which you usually, when you think of PSG, you think of confident players. And yeah, it's Lille's title to lose now. Lille going into the final 2 games. They've got Saint Etienne this Sunday, and then next Sunday they've got Angers. I think that's how you say it, on the 23rd of May. And all they need to do is win and draw. That is literally, and that will confirm the title. They could still win the league depending on how PSG get on. PSG are playing, I think it's today actually, in the semi-final of the French Cup. They've got Montpellier, then on the weekend they've got Saint Etienne, and then the week after they've got Brest. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Some big games coming up, and I think the problem is with PSG, and we've seen, they've kind of, yes, I know a lot of people can be saying, oh, Poch, what's he doing? Because they may crash out of the they crashed out of the Champions League in the semi-final against Man City, and were dominated. I think you'll probably agree with that. Brilliant Man City performance, which I didn't predict. And they could, for the first time in a long time, not dominate their league. And a lot of people say, well, could Poch get sacked? I don't think there's any chance whatsoever that Poch will get sacked. Because I think for the first time at PSG in a while, yes, I know they got to the final last year under Tommy Tuchel, under Thomas Tuchel. But we've seen a style, they've got an identity. And a lot of managers struggle to get the best out of Mbappe and Neymar and then the rest of the squad, but Poch seems to have done that. Yes, he came in January. He came in actually around January time, yeah. Hasn't had any signings, has done a brilliant job with them and taken them to the semi-final, which is a brilliant achievement. Yes, I know. Just ignore the fact they got to the final last year, but I don't think there's a single chance Leonardo will give him the sack because he's been too good, to be honest. And we'll have to wait and see what happens, because Poch will be able to sign his own players. The pressure will be onto him next season because yes, they basically have signed new players with the fact they've got Mbappe tied down to a contract and Neymar, and I think Draxler this week has signed a contract till 2025. So there's the pressure now, not before, because I think Poch was fine. Leonardo has openly come out and said Poch will not get sacked because they're very happy. Because when you look at their Champions League run this year, they dominated Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona aren't the Barcelona we thought they were, but they have been, but they were better than we all thought they would be, and they dominated them. They dominated Bayern Munich. Yes, that was without Lewandowski, but it's still dominating Bayern Munich. Like, they have had a very good run, and getting to the Final Four is something they've struggled to do in the past, so that's an achievement in itself. So they've got to take that, and I think they'll just swipe the slate clean and they'll look at next season. So yeah, Poch, a lot of people have been asking me, will Poch get sacked? No chance, okay? There is no chance. Leonardo, the chief exec, loves Poch, and I can't wait for next season, because I think when he's got a few signings this summer and he starts getting through that youth, because a problem for PSG in recent years, and I think Poch is the man to do this, is PSG as a club have bought those brilliant players, the big players like Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria. There are a lot of players like that, and they don't ever bring through the youth. And we've seen a lot of youth players around Europe who started off at PSG go elsewhere because they know they're not going to get the chance. Koulibaly's just gone to Borussia Dortmund. Diaby to Bayer Leverkusen. Dembele back in the day. Kingsley Coman. The list got Nkunku going to Leipzig, and the list goes on. But I do think the one man who's going to bleed through that youth and build up the squad will be Poch. So it should be interesting, because they have got a brilliant youth system there, but no one ever uses it. Poch will be the man. But yeah, anyway, watch out, because Lille probably will win the league, because they've got 2 mid-table sides to play. But just keep an eye out for it, because I think it's going to be brilliant to see how that unfolds, those last 2 games. So yeah, that's that. That's Ligue 1 spoken about. There is a brilliant relegation battle going on there as well. I won't talk about it in this video, but go check that out. Go have a little look, because yeah, that could be crazy to see what happens there. But now on to the Serie A. Yes, Inter Milan have won the league for the first time since 2011, I think it was, which it's an Antonio Conte thing to do. Wherever he goes, he's a serial winner. He won at Juventus, Chelsea, now Inter Milan. And you know the kind of system he's always going to play, the 3-5-2. It's brilliant, and he's a great manager, but it should be interesting to see how he copes with Inter Milan having the financial difficulties that have, because the owners owned the Chinese club that went out of business, and they have had to change the sponsor from, is it Pirelli? They've cut ties with them because they need more money. So it should be interesting, because the one thing about Conte is he always demands more money, so we should see what happens there. It should be interesting to see what happens, because he's not going to get the backing that he wants. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But congratulations to Inter Milan. They thoroughly deserved it. And I'm really glad, because Lukaku's starting to get the praise that you think he deserves. And Lautaro, who knows? He may not stay there, Lautaro Martinez. I know Barcelona are interested, but I can't see Barcelona spending any money. They've not got the money to spend at the moment. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that. But the big thing in Serie A, who'd have thought I wouldn't be talking about Inter Milan won the league? It's Juventus. Juve, like... What on earth happened against AC Milan? A game where they desperately need to win, because at the moment they may not even qualify for the Champions League, which is crazy when you've got the like of Cristiano Ronaldo at the club, and the amount he's on, and the fact that potentially they might not even qualify for Europe, which I can't even comprehend that, even to put that into perspective, which is absolutely crazy. And then Mourinho going there as well. Absolutely bizarre. There's so much. It's just mental what's going on in Syria. But I'm literally just going to get it up now. The title race now. Sorry, when I say title race, I don't mean the title race. When we talk about the Syria, there's Napoli can still qualify. Lazio, Roma, Juve, Atalanta, AC Milan. It's just, I can't even talk about it. It's just so many clubs, so much going on there. You all need to check out and see what happens there. But one interesting thing we see in Syria is Tomori. Tomori has played absolutely unreal for AC Milan, and I think the board want to sign him. He's got a buyout. I think it's a buy-in option of around 28 million, between 23 and 28 million, which I definitely think is worth it. And I think he'll probably go in the summer. Should be interesting. But yeah, brilliant signing. It's brilliant to see a lot of more English players going abroad, learning the trade, and potentially could come back to the Premier League in years to come. But who knows? AC Milan is a brilliant side. Yeah. And not only that, did you see Zlatan in the AC Milan against Juve game where AC Milan won 3-0? He went off injured, and potentially it's looking like he will be out for the Euros. Who knows? It hasn't been confirmed yet. I really hope he's okay, because it is a real shame, because he was out of the frame for the Sweden side. So it's nice to see him back in the squad. We'll have to wait and see. But there you go, that is my Serie A roundup. It's quick fire, guys, because there's so much to talk about all across Europe. And then now on to La Liga. Wow. Real Madrid, it was in their hands. The moment was theirs. And they couldn't do it. It was Real Madrid's title to lose at one point. They had their chance, they had their moment. And the fact they drew 2-2, geez, they got lucky, I'm telling you that now. Should be interesting to see what happens there. I think Athletic are going to win the league. It surprises me, I can't believe it, but we'll have to wait and see what unfolds, and I will do my reaction, and I'll probably do a bit more of an in-depth analysis soon on how that unfolds, because that's going to be crazy, absolutely crazy. And now I'm going to answer some of your questions. Who's winning the Europa League? I think, realistically, I know Unai Emery absolutely loves the Europa League. He must have so many winning medals, but I think Man United really are going to do it. They've got the depth in the squad to win the league, win the Europa League for definite. I don't think it's a question, really. I think if Arsenal got to beaten Villarreal, I'd have had Arsenal down as my favourite. Arsenal were my favourites. I thought Arsenal were going to do it, and a very, very poor performance. Arteta's really struggling to get anything out of his men at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. But I do think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to win his first trophy there. It's still not good enough from a side like Man United and the investment in their squad, but it's a start. They can get the ball rolling from here, and obviously automatic Champions League qualification, even though they will qualify anyway, but that's beside the point. But yeah, it's a shame about Harry Maguire, but I also am quite happy. Hopefully he's given the chance for players like Tuanzebe to give a chance, because I really like Tuanzebe. But yeah, there you go, that's the answer to that question. I think, yeah, Man United for definite. And now I will get on to the rest of the questions. Who is next? From either I or L, I'm sorry, I can't tell. L Murray 13. Thoughts on Mourinho's Roma move? Brilliant. I think it's a brilliant move for him. I think Mourinho, he kind of really suits the Italian style of play, the slow build-up, the men behind the ball, the possession play, the 1-0 wins. I think we've seen it when he dominated there with Inter Milan, and he's got a good squad there at Roma. That quite a few players that are good players. One specifically, a lot of Villa fans will remember him, is Jordan Vertu. He did go off injured against Man United after about 2 minutes in the semi-final of the Europa League, but I've always liked him. I've always rated him. I think he's a brilliant player. He's captains the side quite often. He's one player to watch for next season. And obviously Chris Smalling, the reunion, they're back on. I do like Chris Smalling again. They've just got a very good depth of squad and a lot of average players, but I think Mourinho probably will get some financial backing, so I'll have to wait and see what happens in the summer and see what kind of players he brings in. But looking realistically like they're going to qualify for Europa again, so could be a Europa League win for them, who knows. Next question, again from El Murray. Should Buffon retire when he leaves Juve at the end of the season? I can't really have an opinion on whether a player should retire. Yes, he's a brilliant player, and we've seen many year on year, he's still doing it at the highest level. He's getting very old. Who knows what he wants to do after football, whether he wants to go into directorship, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think you can say a player should retire. He's still quite clearly good enough because he's playing at such a high level. And every year we have this, every single summer. Comes out, oh, is Buffon going to retire? So let's just wait and see what happens. Adidas or Nike? What a good question. I don't know. When it comes to boots, I've always been a Nike kind of guy. I love my CTRs back in the day, Mercurials. I'm a fan. I currently wear Tiempos, classic, black. It's got to be black. You can't have these bright boots now. I'm too old for that. When I was a kid, pink, everything, you know how it is. But I'm too old for that now. And I knew there'd be some Euro questions. Somebody has asked, what is going on with Jack Grealish? Chris, that is a brilliant question. It is Chris LMD. I don't know what that stands for. But, Chris, what a very good question. Oh, I'll probably Chris MD fan page, there you go. But Chris LMD has asked me the question, what is going on with Jack Grealish? I don't know, if I'm being honest. I've just listened to a Dean Smith live conference just before I came out on the radio, and he said he's training, but he's still not ready. He'll probably get some minutes in, but he's still not fit to start. And it is quite worrying. Personally, if I was Gareth Southgate, I don't think you can take a player to the Euros that hasn't played a lot of football. I think Jordan Henderson probably should miss out as well, because you can't be taking players who haven't been playing and that aren't fully fit, because there are many players who play in similar positions to Jack Grealish who have been playing week in, week out. And I know, yes, most chances created and all of that jazz. Yes, Jack Grealish is a brilliant player, but you need players who are already at that match fitness, that match peak, that won't need time to get back into the swing of things. You want players that bang straight in at the start of the Euros, goals and creating chances, and are very light on the feet. And I do worry for Jack Grealish. Who knows what's going on, to be honest, because I was reading on the 3rd of March, Dean Smith said he would be back. Not in the matchday squad. And he said he's been put back. He's having to go back and start to see what's happening. But I'm not going to speculate. And there are a lot of rumours. You can go check them out yourself with what's going on. Who knows? But I do hope the player is okay. But personally, I wouldn't take him to the Euros. Him or Jordan Henderson. As much as experience Jordan Henderson has, I don't think you can take him. You can't take a player who isn't match fit. I know it's going to annoy a lot of people, but I don't think you can. I think it's too much of a risk. And not only that, with Jack Grealish, he's played 14 minutes, I think it was against Denmark. A few minutes in the game before, might have been against Ireland. And then only played 90 minutes against Belgium, and we lost. He's not got much England experience, and there's a lot to put on a player just to throw him in the deep end and expect him to play at the Euros. We'll have to wait and see. And I know the next question as well was, who is my 23-man squad for England Euros? I'm not going to tell you. Of course I'm going to get a video out of that. You'll wait and see. There'll be a video there. That'll probably be soon, just after the season finishes. Also guys, please keep your eyes peeled out. Next week I am doing my first interview, and it's hopefully a new series where I talk to ex-pros or people who have been in the game, and just we kind of look through their journey, their career, and hopefully, because I know a lot of you people that watch me are young boys and girls who are aspiring to be footballers or get into the sport. I'll try and get as much tips and try and you'll be able to listen to it, and it might help you, might motivate you, or might just help you in one sense that if you want to be a footballer, it might give you some tips and things to do. Or if you want to go into other sides of football where it's media, I'll get on people and I can talk to them about that. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled out. My first interview should be going out next Thursday, maybe Friday, but keep your eyes peeled, guys. Please support it, because this is really what I want to do. Interviews, chilled out videos, and eventually then I can go into sports media. Let's just wait and see, but I can't wait for that. But yeah, I thought I'd just a little plug there for you guys, because I know a lot of you keep guessing who it is. I'm not telling you who it is. We just have to wait and see. But now I'm going to talk about the relegation, because Sheffield United now have been relegated. West Brom have been relegated. Oh, I'm crying. No, I'm not. I'm fine. And Fulham. And all I'm saying is, what did I predict? I told you at the start of the year, West Brom, Fulham and Sheffield United. I told you in my very first rambling. And of course, I'm the prediction king. What do I say? And one thing I want to start off with is Fulham. And Sheffield United, I think they've had a very poor season, and I still think it was the wrong decision to sack Chris Wilder. But reports are saying that he wanted to leave before the board sacked him. So who knows, and we'll have to wait and see about that. But we'll talk about Scott Parker. Scott Parker, in an interview after getting relegated, was very emotional, and he said he'll have to think about whether he wants to stay at the club next season. I don't understand how a manager who's spent the amount on a squad that he has, with some top class players, like when you look at the depth of their squad, they've got former Champions League players in that squad. They've got a World Cup winning goalkeeper, Lemina, playing the Champions League. Mental, yeah? I could go through the whole squad. They spent an extortionate amount of money on a lot of loan signings, like Anthony Knockaert cost quite a bit. Cavallero, when they eventually signed him, Bobby Divock-Reid. You've got Mitrovic. The whole squad, when you look down, Loftus-Cheek, quite an expensive loan. I could keep naming more and more. They've spent a lot of money on that squad. Anguissa cost 20 million, I think it was, when they first bought him. Their squad is extremely expensive. And I don't understand how Scott Parker can say in an interview, I decide whether I stay at the club next year. I still don't see it, and I know a lot of people are saying he's favourites for the Tottenham job, but what has he done really to deserve the Tottenham job? You could tell me in the comments why I'm wrong or what I've seen. But when I watch Fulham, I see a lethargic, slow, predictable side. They had the chance to overtake Newcastle. I don't understand how this. I can't comprehend it. You could tell I'm struggling for words because you look at the way they've played. It's very slow and predictable, and we've seen throughout the end of the season they started off quite poorly. I think they were quite naive to think they could just pass out from the back, as we saw when they got dominated by Arsenal at the very start of the season, where it was 3 or 4-0 at the time. But as the season's gone on, they just seem to have just stagnated. And they had the chance to overtake Newcastle when they had all their injuries. And Newcastle just looked awful. And you thought, this is Fulham's chance. They've just completely blown it. And I think West Brom will finish above them. I really do. Because Fulham's form is absolutely atrocious. Loss after loss after loss. And they've got the squad to stay up. The fact that a side with Ruben Loftus-Cheek on his own should stay up. I know I've said in videos before I still think he's overrated. And I still think he is. But I still can't believe he's been linked to the Tottenham job. Graham Potter, I sort of get it. You look at Graham Potter, he's taken a Chris Hughton side. A side, no offence to Chris Hughton, aren't really a footballing side. When I say footballing, I mean passing side. It's more of a low block, 1-0 win, where he's taken them to... Graham Potter has now turned it into a side that play very progressive play, very nice on the eye, very lovely build-up. And the problem is, they've got Neil Maupay up top. I can't say his name still. And he just can't finish. Can't just finish at all. He couldn't even finish by Chris, a bloke couldn't, honestly. I get it. I get the Graham Potter link. And I know a lot of people say, well, look where Brighton are in the league. But Brighton, when you look at the amount they've spent, it's nowhere near Fulham. Astronomical difference. But yeah, that's my talk on Scott Parker, because I could get quite annoyed about that. And now I'm going to talk about West Brom. My team, West Brom. It's a shame they've gone down, but I think Sam Allardyce did turn it around. Since Sam Allardyce got his team that he wanted, the January signings, West Brom have looked very, very good actually. Quite some big wins, big result. Drew against Liverpool, beat Chelsea, and that beating Chelsea alone was a brilliant game. In April, they were top goal scorers in the league, West Brom were, which is crazy. They're going down, and I think overall they deserve to go down. But my one worry for West Brom is when you look at their side, the amount of players that they'll be losing from that squad. Hal Robson-Kanu, I think his contract's up this summer. Ainsley Maitland-Niles going back on loan. Yukoshlu back on loan. Diagna going back on loan. Conor Gallagher going back on loan. Kieran Gibbs going on a free to Inter Miami, out with David Beckham and Gary Neville. Sorry, not Gary Neville, Phil Neville. And then Mateus Pereira, I think he has to go. He has to go to a bigger side. He is too good to be playing in the Championship. And I know some ridiculous fees are being thrown about, but I think realistically he should be valued at around 25 million above. He's only done it 2 seasons in England, but he's got 3 years left on his contract at West Brom, so they may use that and try and up their fee. We'll have to wait and see. But that's enough on West Brom. But I do think West Brom have got a very good Championship squad. I think West Brom will come straight back up. Fulham, I worry for, because Fulham have got a lot of players on some big wages, and they struggled to come up last season. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, because they've got a lot of players on big wages. So and I can't see any Premier League sides snapping them up, if I'm being honest. And they've got a lot of loan signings that are going to go back. We'll have to wait and see with them as well. One player I've been very, very pleased with this season though is Tosin Adarabioyo, who they bought from Man City for a very small fee. One player who's a good player, and we'll have to see what happens with him. And Anderson, I don't know what's going to happen with him as well. But now Sheffield United, I can't decide with Sheffield United. You look at the squad, it's a very thin squad. Aren't very many goal scorers. Without Chris Wilder, who knows? I don't really know what to say on them. It's going to be quite interesting to see how that all unfolds and how they cope without their man and who they give the full-time job to. Again, we'll have to wait and see. That's all I'm going to say on them. But overall, guys, that is my rambling. It's only been a quick one, quick fire, because too many topics to talk about in one video. But I've got a lot of uploads coming up soon. Be sure to check them all out. Please keep liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate it. And tomorrow, my channel will be 6 months old tomorrow. My very first video was 6 months ago. And the fact that since then we've got over 15,000 channel views, 800 subscribers. I can't believe it, to be honest. It's it's lovely to see you guys. So thank you. I appreciate all of you. Please keep sending your questions. I do read everything. Thank you guys for watching. Bucket Hat Sam over and out. Goodbye.